I hate without them ever suspecting that it's me. So, let's see. Another thing that I say all the time is that I'm not in animal rights as a feminist to be a witness. I didn't come as a witness. I didn't come here to witness all of the problems that exist in this community and be like, gee, shucks, that sucks. I hate that that happens. I'm going to make a Facebook post about how this is a shitty thing that I saw today. Not interested in it. I'm not interested in merely watching all of this stuff happen and not respond to it. I lost the ability to be a spectator a long time ago. Nobody gets to be a spectator in this movement. Like, you just don't. So somebody made the choice for me that I don't get to be a spectator anymore by sexually assaulting me. And so now I don't get to be a spectator. I don't get to just watch this stuff happen and not relate to it personally. I don't get to not take it personally anymore. And if any of you guys love women, if any of you people, any woman in this room, you don't get to be spectators either, and we all already knew that. We all already knew that we have to fight all the time. And I am exhausted with fighting, but the only options that I have are fight for me, fight for you, or eat the shit sandwich. And sometimes I eat the shit sandwich. Sometimes something happens and I'm just like, I don't have the energy for this today, so I'm gonna eat that sandwich. But eventually we get fed up with having to do that so much, and we start pushing back. And then the moment we start pushing back, we start to make enemies. And I love when that happens, because that is the first and most just absolute indicator that I'm exactly where I need to be. When dudes start getting really pissed off, I'm like, this is the sweet spot. Oh, you don't like that I'm here? Okay, I'm gonna stand here then for a really long time until you burn out on yelling at me, and then we're gonna step forward together, or I'm gonna leave you behind me. But those are the only two options. Like, I hold the ground when I get into that space. So none of us get to be spectators. When you see something happening, call it out. If it's somebody who looks like you and identifies like you especially should call it out, because it can't be my job constantly to run around and tell everybody if they're doing a good job or if they're doing a bad job. Because that also comes with a lot of risk for me, right? Because those people blow back on me for holding them accountable, and when nobody else is speaking up, they think that the majority of people are on their side, because I'm the only person who's saying what I'm saying, right? So we also need to understand that, and this is something that I tell people all the time who have a lot of privilege, is that our whole lives are collisions. We're constantly colliding with each other. We're colliding with each other on every belief that we have. We collide with each other on music. We collide with each other on food. We collide with each other on what we believe, what we think, the privileges some people have versus what other people don't have. We're always colliding with each other. And I don't think that we can get to a place in our community, and I think that we waste a lot of time trying to get there when we start saying, let's try to make a perfect community where everybody is totally safe all the time. Because I fight with my best friend. If you fight with your best friend, you know that sometimes you just can't avoid it. You're gonna collide with the people around you. But when I fight with my best friend, we don't scream at each other, and it doesn't end our friendship. And the reason that it doesn't is because we figured out ways to fight with each other without personalizing it, without insulting that person, by listening to that person, and we go into it with the idea that we want to solve it. So what we're trying to do, in my mind, is not make our communities perfect, but instead change what is a monster truck rally into bumper cars. Because right now we got monster trucks, and the rest of us, we're down on the ground and we're like those little cars, and then that patriarchy, monster truck goes grrr, 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 across the whole thing, and everybody it touches gets all fucked up. And then people scuttle in and they take those cars out and they bring new cars in, and that's what's happening to a lot of women in this community, is we get crushed, and then we get dragged out, and then they fix us back up, and other cars get put out there, and then that monster truck comes in and rolls over them again. If we work on making buffers and working on this stuff and getting it all softened out, if we work on conflict resolution, if we deal in solutions, we can change that monster truck rally into bumper cars. And we're also going to be colliding with each other, but it's just not going to have the same consequence. It's not going to have the same effect. It's not going to be permanent. Nobody's going to get totally fucked up, and I think that that's a way more achievable model, is accepting that we're going to collide and figure out ways to make those collisions not as significant. And coming to that goes back to like the idea that like, that to me I call like pulling weeds. So we need to start pulling weeds so that we have room for the flowers, because we can't just say, oh, we want this beautiful garden, and then walk into like, because right now we're walking into like brown ground. Like we're walking into a really shitty place. It's gonna take a lot of work to get us there. And women and people who are being stomped on by the present system cannot be responsible for doing all of that work, because this is like social gentrification, right? You've got people who are marginalized, who work extremely hard to make something nice out of something that is really shitty and sucks, right? It was a crappy neighborhood. Let's build little cafes, let's get a coffee shop, let's get a bike repair shop, let's paint all the flower boxes on the street, and the people who live in that community, the people who are on the ground, do all that work. And then rich people come in and they say like, oh, this is so cute, I want to live here. And they push all those other people out. We see that in our own communities and movements. Women will build something up, and then one dude goes, oh wow, you guys are getting a lot of media. You're getting a lot of media. Do you need some help with media? No, we don't need help with media. And the next thing you know, we're at a demo, and some media person will show up, and that guy, who's never been to an organizing meeting, is out front talking about it. He's usually a white guy. And the rest of us go like, okay, because we don't want to fight you about it. We have to fight you about everything else. We're not going to fight you over something that seems or can be turned over as trivial. So somebody can say like, oh, and then she got mad at me because they didn't let her be on camera. And it's like, that's not what it is. It's like, it's microaggressions. It's that I've had to cede so much space to you already that I don't want to cede to you the one time that I might get recognition for my work, because nobody's questioning if dudes are doing the work in their groups. People think you guys are doing all the work. So when you put a woman out front, what it does is it says, it's not just dudes who are doing the work, because nobody's going to think, oh, those guys must not be doing the work if they're not doing the media, or they're not doing the presentation, or they're not out front, or they're not on the bullhorn. They think those women are doing that work as well. You guys aren't losing any ground by putting somebody else out front for a while, because everybody already thinks you guys are doing everything. So, moving on from that. Okay, so I have no interest in trading in annihilations. So, for example, there's dudes who've been really problematic to me in the scene. I don't think that the best response to that is to go be problematic to them. I'll take a hard line with them, like you guys can probably tell by the way that I talk and am, that I don't exactly roll over on this stuff. But not rolling over on it and the total complete destruction scorched earth model isn't the same thing, right? So